Hi folks, in this short video we're going to give you this is sort of an introduction of a video introduction to your Mod 5 memo assignment, and we're going to give you as an optional way to conduct the assignment a little ISLM tool, because you've been asked to sort of analyze an episode using the ISLM model, and you could draw things, but alternatively we have set something up for you here. So let's go to the spreadsheet here, and we've already introduced you to the ISLM model. So let's just set this thing back to 0 here. Okay, so this is where it's starting position. So the idea is that we've already explained to you, IS curve tells us equilibrium in goods markets, LM curves equilibrium in money markets, and the idea is that that the economy is initially in some sort of equilibrium, and then it suffers some kind of shock, and it's a bad shock, and then to counter the shock, the government and the central bank engages in some kind of stabilization policy. Now, in this version of the spreadsheet, we're actually giving you the liberty here, quite a bit of freedom here, because we're allowing you to put in shocks in percentage of potential output. So let us suppose that we're in a situation where let's say that people pull back on their spending, both households and firms, and let's say that economists have estimated that to be about 3% of GDP, which is a rather violent shock. But in addition, in their quest for sort of safety, they're interested in their preserving their wealth. Their money demand increases. So let's say that we do an estimate that their increase in money demand is actually also substantial, about, let's say, 2% of GDP. And you can see that in fact, okay, what do we get? We get shock, and we get a contraction, even though interest rates are now below normal level here. But then the idea is that we are way below potential because of the shock. So the idea is that in the first instance, we might think of the central bank coming in and counteracting that shock. And how would it do that? It would increase money demand, but let's say that it's only a partial offset. So let's put in a 1% increase. And in addition, let's say that the government decides to cut taxes, and they cut taxes, but it isn't a very substantial tax cut. Let's say that it's 1%. Okay, so now, okay, well, let's see, this is pretty meager. So then let's just say that the Congress says, okay, let's also increase spending, and let's say that's 2%. So you can see now, as a result of this was the original shock. This original shock, we had output below potential, also interest rates below their initial level. But then what happened was that as a result of some of these stabilizing policies, we're still below potential. More people are unemployed than that would be desirable, but we sort of ameliorated the situation. So this is the idea of how to use this tool. Once again, this is just a fictitious example, and any resemblance with reality is purely coincidental. It's up to you to put the reality into your scenarios. Thank you very much.